got to think about when it comes to events, there is no event without community. The attendees, by sake of being an attendee, as soon as they register for a ticket, they've become part of this broader ecosystem and this community. And when we think about what happens at an event, right? People come, they come to learn, they come to network and meet new people and even learn about new products and services. Mm-hmm. So this is truly what they're looking for. A community tool is really just the mechanism to keep this alive and going outside of the show. All of those relationships, all the delicious content that they've consumed, and all these commercial relationships, they need a place to live 365 days of the year. Otherwise, what's happened in the past is everybody gets this euphoric feeling of learning and networking at the event, and 2 days later, it's gone.
Yes.
And to keep that connection year round, you've got to make that euphoric feeling more of a steady state of this is my community. These are my people. This is my content. And this is how I can be a part of this, not just at the event.
Yeah, I love that, Erica, because one of the things that I thought about when you were talking is I remember at the start of the pandemic, and actually continued throughout, people were talking about virtual versus in person. They were having this discussion saying, well, virtual is never going to replace in person. And, you know, it's just not going to be the same type of thing. But the conversation was the wrong conversation, because virtual, the world of virtual and being online was never supposed to be a replacement for in person. They are just tools of engagement, of how you interact and how you keep in touch with each other and how you network with each other. But they were never supposed to operate simultaneously in the sense of in the same way. They're not mutually exclusive. They each have their own strengths and capabilities. So I think that when people are in a certain mindset as to how they plan to keep in touch with their communities and, you know, whoever their peeps are and all of that, they are thinking about it in a certain way, as opposed to thinking about the actual ways as a tool to be able to do it.
Yes. And I think it's important to think about this as the term having an omni-channel presence. And really all that means is having different touch points to reach your audience in meaningful ways, or at least that they can find meaningful. I always like to take inspiration from the corporate world because they do this so well. Take Disney, right? Mm-hmm. People kids watch the cartoons, and I guess adults too, right? You go to the theme park, there's apps that you're on, you're buying merchandise, you've got, you know, shirts, they're touching their audience in so many different ways simultaneously and independent of one another. But what it does is it keeps them connected to that brand year round in such a way that they're able to truly monetize that audience outside of just any one given experience. And this is how in the events industry, we can really be leveraging this idea of community or professional networking to keep those ideas alive and intersecting, you know, just every single day.
I agree. And I also think of it too as a way to, when you're thinking about community, you need to build your community with your members, not for them. And what I mean by that is that, you know, those are for those that just want to come in and monetize and try to make money off of, you know, their community members and just want to quickly arrive at whatever that end point is for them. That's just not possible and not the way to effectively or strategically even look at it. So you want to hear from your community. You want to know what their pain points are. You want to know what they need and what they are longing for and how to keep them engaged. I'm a hiker. And so I think about when I'm getting ready to go take a hike and it's not a hike or a trail that I've been on before. I don't maybe know how to get there or where the parking is, or if the trails are properly marked and is it difficult terrain and all of that. So what do? I go to my community and I go where I'm in a group and I ask them for that information and all of those details. I don't go to Google for that. I go to my community.
You trust your people.
Exactly. Trust.
Exactly. And what you said is so spot on in terms of how these event organizers really need to be listening to their community. Throughout my time studying how associations and event organizers have been interacting with their constituents, it's been more one-way communication,
Yes.
meaning
Yes.
I'm advertising this product, service, this event, this educational offering to you. Attend yes, attend no.
Right.
Period.
Right.
However,
Right.
good community platforms, good professional networking platforms allow for two-way communication. And what this entails is a completely different type of behavior that's required from event organizers. And now it's time for them to listen and not just advertise outwardly. In these platforms, you can get such a wealth of information. Think about giving your attendees the opportunity to just talk. And as you listen and you distill that data back, you can understand what themes are present in your industry. Maybe, people,
Right.
meaning like, who are the big speakers? Who are the big thought leaders? And as an event organizer, you've got enough on your plate every single day to be able to have somebody tell you what themes should be present at your event, who you should be targeting to be your speakers. You can let your community tell you all of this information. And there's a stat that I love to share, and it's an engaged community spends 6 times what a non-engaged community will spend, and they drive event registration. Because if you think about this, and actually there's a real personal experience happening today. There's an event I'm thinking about attending, and I say thinking. Mm-hmm. I'm an exhibitor. I should have every reason to attend. I want to try to meet as many people as I can. But they have not engaged with me once.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm torn because I don't understand the value of what I'm going to get from attending besides having the opportunity to meet people. Right. Which that's so important. But I'm a researcher. I love content. I love discussion. There's been nothing. So I'm literally at this moment of, do I go? Do I not go? Do I spend? Do I not spend? But had I been engaged, it would have been a no-brainer to attend.
You wanted to be a part, because at that point you knew you wanted to be a part of it because of all of the learnings and all of, it's not bells and whistles. It's just the value. People will pay for what's of value to them.